BBQ Central.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is a show where we talk about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital and social distancing capital of the North Coast. Let me try that again. The barbecue and social distancing capital of the North Coast. Greg Grimm. Cleveland, Ohio. Fucking A. I should just start right over from the beginning. Oh, forget it. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you here on your Tuesday. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, here's how you do that.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show. Anything
else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. By the way, if you want to sign up for that, you can head over to the main website. And towards the top right-ish, there's a thing that says sign up for the newsletter. So drop an email in, and you'll get one that shows up right around noon Eastern time, letting you know what's happening on the show later that evening. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, a recurring guest here on this show, a successful business lady, also into cooking classes, a author, makes TV show appearances, the whole gamut. It is a hardcore carnivore, Jess Pryles, making her return to the show. 35 past the hour. We'll find fourth Tuesday of the month, a regular segment guest, Derrick Riches from Derrick Riches.com, our bristly barbecue journalist, and we will talk to him about a number of topics, not the least of which is a further insight on that Masterbuilt gravity-fed cooker. However, plenty of other things to get into, like this beef and meat and protein meat in general shortage that could be showing up here in this country by the end of the business week. If you haven't seen that all over the news, where are you getting your news at? Just troll the internet. It's all around. Plenty of reports talking about it. Tyson was the most recent big name that I've heard and seen on the television, talking about their supply chain being disrupted and that there are hundreds of millions of pounds that will be shorted by the end of the week. What are your thoughts on that? We'll talk to Derrick about that topic, amongst other things, and then we'll move to the second hour. And because it is the fourth Tuesday of the month, you know what that means? The Embedded Correspondents, a.k.a. the malfeasance of the barbecue community, the ne'er-do-wells of live fire, will be joining me, and we'll be talking about a number of topics. And then in the second portion of the Embedded Correspondents segment, month 2 of the Barbecue Central Show's version of American Idol. Man, these sound effects are not working. There we go. That's right. We're back for month 2. John Solberg was eliminated last month. So it's me and Doug Scheiding and Jeff Ricer for your singing pleasure, as the three of us are vying for the final 2 spots. And that final will take place in May, where there will be a pre-recorded duet like they do on those shows. And then we'll also sing live our own songs, not original songs, but we'll sing live on the show our own songs as well. So that's what you have to look forward to here on this show. Backyard Barbecue Show, already clawing his ears off in anxious anticipation of 3 songs coming out tonight. Now, I will say the saving grace, because I don't want to make everybody bleed through their ears in the second hour. I have put a time restriction of right around 2 minutes. So even though some folks sent me full-length songs, I did go ahead and edit down. I haven't heard the songs. I just found where I thought the music was going to be editable and ducked it right from there. So mine's right around 2. Doug's right around 2. Jeff Ricer a little longer, maybe around that 2:20 mark. So all around that same listening time frame, hoping that you can get a good survey of how good our singing is. And then I will beg of you that everybody has to vote over the course of the week, and the person will be eliminated a week from now. The least number of votes gotten, that singer will be eliminated. So there you go. Stay tuned for your second hour. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow me socially at BBQ Central Show, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, /BBQ Central Show, Facebook, where you can also get a live version video of this show. First off, I need to correct something that I said last week, if you may, and maybe you don't recall. Ben Arnott from Smoking Hot Confessions was on last week to close the show. By the way, great segment, so if you missed it, go back and get it in podcast. However, during the conversation, he had mentioned that my to-be guest here in just a few short minutes, Jess Pryles, was a prized Australian export to here in the States, which I then informed him that Jess was now a U.S. citizen. Well, it appears there is some question in that regard. So where do you go when you want to find if you are or are not something? Where do you go? Well, of course, you submit all of your paperwork and DNA and blood and everything that conspiracy theorists don't want to ever do, and you ship that on off to Maury Povich and get the results. That's where you do these test shows, right? So we go to Maury Povich with the answer.
Andrew, you are not the father.
Oh, dear. Well, it appears, Maury, I have made a critical error. Look, all kidding aside, I recalled reading the fact in an article. Well, it's not a fact. I recall reading an article in the Houston Chronicle. They did a piece on Jess. And it said, and perhaps these are where the words get tricky, that she took the plunge and became a U.S. citizen. I guess I'm paraphrasing at this point. But the words plunge and U.S. citizen were written down on paper within the Houston Chronicle on a piece that they wrote on Jess Pryles. And even though the words made it appear like she became a citizen, I did a little fact check. Now, you might ask yourself, who did you fact check with? Well, in fact, I did fact check with Jess Pryles herself, who told me as much, that she indeed was not
Andrew, you are not
an American citizen. She's not naturalized. She's not a U.S. citizen, naturalized, as they say. Now, there is a date that is specific to today that we will talk about when she comes on here in a few minutes. But I do want to set the record straight because I said something completely false, and I almost doubled down on it because Ben was like, oh, I didn't really hear about that. I thought about reconfirming or digging in, but I didn't bother. And thank goodness I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe I thought subconsciously that I was wrong already. I don't know. But I do want to apologize to Jess for saying that she was a U.S. citizen when she's actually not. This, of course, just another reason why I hate reading in general. Or perhaps, maybe I should be reading more so my reading comprehension becomes much better. So I understand how people write, not my 5th grade reading comprehension. Also, I do want to mention this separate. I got a message from Emily Detweiler over at KCBS, and as they're getting ready to celebrate National Barbecue Month, which is May, coming up here in a few short days, they want to do it a little early. They want to celebrate a little early by offering a $100 discount on lifetime memberships. Individual lifetime memberships are typically $300 or are normally $400. So the discounts get you one for $300. Family memberships, two for $400, normally $500. The first 50 new annual members will get a copy of the KCBS Barbecue Society's cookbook. That's a $25 value. And these offers, of course, like everything else, are limited and won't last long. So visit the website kcbs.us and click on join/renew to get your discount early for National Barbecue Month, which is May, of course. It's our favorite month, aside from Brisket Month and Pork Butt Month and Rib Month, Live Fire Month. I think today is National Prime Rib Day, if I saw that somewhere. Every day has something. Tomorrow will be National Something Else Day that's not prime rib. Although prime rib could have 2 national days in a row, as far as I'm concerned. Jess Pryles coming up out of the break. I will talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue, a curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. Will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. 13 perfectly balanced rubs and seasonings. They're simply my favorite. Sweet Money, Regular Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, Double Secret, Steak Rub, Little Louie Seasoned Salt might be my all-time favorite. Little Louie's and Sweet Money pretty much can go on anything. Now, aside from the rubs and seasonings, they do have sauce. They own Granny's Barbecue Sauce. So if you're looking for something a little different than what's already existing out there, if you are a little bored with all the stuff that's on the shelf, it's not tripping your trigger, might I suggest trying Granny's. Great all by itself, no doubt, but also a really good base sauce if you want to start mixing it up. You don't want to spend time creating a base. Let Granny's be the base. You start to mess around from there. We're also selling the very best pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers available today. If you're looking for a cooker that's easy to use, the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill is something you want to check out. Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, even offer special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers, that's fine. You can try the Old Hickory Ace BP, the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. If you're not sure of what grill you need, call them. Please, ask all the questions that you need to. 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727. Or shop their website, bigpapasmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. Jess Pryles, the hardcore carnivore herself, coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, and seasonings, barbecue sauces, grilling oils, all of Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. All right, my first guest tonight, successful author, blogger, brand ambassador, appears on TV from time to time. Of course, the founder of the successful live fire brand, Hardcore Carnivore. Let's go ahead and race to the hotline. And welcome back, friend of the show, Jess Pryles. Hey, Jess.
Howdy. How are you?
I am absolutely fabulous. How's your Corona life?
It's not bad because I get to stay at home and cook a bunch. I'm usually out on the road a fair bit, so this is a welcome change.
I was going to say, aside from the desperate amount of travel that you're typically doing, it's probably a lot of the same, right? Testing recipes, getting things written down, posted on the website, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's not a pleasant situation for anyone, but it's always nice to find a silver lining. And in this case, people are, I think, using recipes more than ever. I'm getting amazing like messages from people, oh, hey, I got your cookbook, or I tried your bacon recipe, or guess what, I followed your lamb recipe. It made my family really happy. And it's so nice to get that feedback. Usually, I guess we're so busy in our everyday lives, people just don't usually have time to send those sort of things. So that's really neat.
No doubt about it. Jess Pryles joining me here on the show, or hardcorecarnivore.com, jesspryles.com, also Jess Pryles on a number of the social media handles as well. We're going to talk about this really cool live YouTube cook-along that you have coming up this Saturday in just a bit. But today is special for the folks that follow you on your social media. This is your 5th-year immigration anniversary. And in your Facebook post earlier today, you said that the past 5 years have been the most productive of your life. So let me ask you this question. Do you think that if you would have stayed in Australia, would you then have achieved the same type of levels of success that you had having made the trek from Australia here to the States?
I don't think it would be quite on the same levels. I mean, Australia it's called the lucky country, and there's always a great opportunity to make something of yourself there. And since I've left, there have been a couple of guys that have done pretty well for themselves as barbecue grew there, but it's nowhere on the scale it is here. So as far as Australia being the lucky country, this is definitely all the American dream that I'm living right here. And I definitely think that I couldn't have done it without being here.
So perhaps a crappy follow-up question. Is there one or two American memories that really stick with you as you look past the 5 years? I mean, certainly there's a lot of things happening, but are there one or two things that rise above?
Yeah, I remember meeting like Chris Lilly for the first time at the American Royal, and it was the year that it was at the Speedway, and I was just so honored to even meet him, even make his acquaintance. And now, I just talked to him this week because we're both, I guess stablemates at Kingsford now. So I get to call him, not just a friend, but a colleague, and to have had that, so little reminders like that about how far you've come when you started as a fangirl, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's Crisco, no big deal. I mean, of course he's still a big deal, but it's just got a little bit of a different vibe to it. But there's just, there's so many little things. Like, I tried to look through photos today when I wrote that post, like the photo of me signing a book contract, the first time the signature smoker rolled into my yard, and the deal with Lone Star, and just Hardcore Carnivore, to be able to be in so many people's houses right now and help them feed their families and feed themselves and just bring a little joy. Like, that there's no one thing, because it nearly all becomes a blur when you look back, but there's not a moment that I'm not grateful for it, but it's not luck, it's hard work.
You also referenced, and I quote, the ever-fluctuating accent. So let me ask you this. Has living in Texas made the Australian accent mostly evaporate, or have you worked on attaining more of a, I guess for lack of a better term, Western style of speaking?
A drawl.
No, not a drawl, but making the Australian accent go. For instance, I had Ben Arnott on the show last week. I mean, he lives in Australia. Yeah. He's got a very pronounced Australian accent. I've made Saffron Hodgson's acquaintance a few different times. Very large Australian accent. So the myopic American would say, oh, somebody's from Australia, they got to have a fairly heavy Australian accent. But you don't necessarily, I don't hear you talk and go, she must be from Australia.
I was on the phone with my mom minutes ago. That's why I said mom, not mom. And I'm nearly full Australian when I talk to her. And if you watch me on like lives or whatever, you'll see it's like still the number one thing that people are fascinated with commenting about. And it's just I've got a bipolar accent. That's just how it is. It started just as a need to be understood. Like, I understood like certain words that Americans would just not have any clue what I was saying. So I'd adjust it, instead of water.
Right.
And you start by those things that are going to be just easier for you to be understood that way. And then, I don't know, it just depends who I'm talking to, I think I've always had the official line on it is this. I've always had an ear for languages. Like, I can, I speak French with a pretty decent accent. I speak Spanish with a reasonable accent. And I think this is just an extension of that, wanting to be understood, hearing the voices around you and sounding it back.
So is it tough for you to make the hard R instead of the, more traditional Australian style R?
Yeah, and you know what the hardest is? I want to say like Hardcore Carnivore all the time.
Right.
It's like literally my business name I sometimes stumble through with Hardcore Carnivore. I feel like I'm eating my tongue sometimes.
Does it feel real to you?
Which part?
Like when you have to enunciate it a way that you're not necessarily comfortable saying it.
Yeah, because it's weird, because I see it as it is an American business, and I see it as like Hardcore Carnivore. I see it as Hardcore Carnivore, mate.
Yeah.
Get that carnivore into ya, as they would say in Australia.
Jess Pryles is joining me here on the show. HardcoreCarnivore.com. Easy for me to say, right? Let's talk about this cool thing.
To hire you.
I do voice work. I have quite an extensive setup here in the basement. Everything that's cool in Cleveland happens in a basement. Just ask anybody. So you have a really awesome thing going on this Saturday, and I don't want to speak for you, but I would say that perhaps a catalyst or catapult was a portion to something that you did this past weekend, which I think was on Facebook. It was a live, and you had, it seemed like a pretty steady 300, 350, maybe 400 live continuous viewers. And you said, you know what, I wonder, and you did like a poll right there in the audience, said, hey, how many people do you think would actually want to cook along with me? We're doing a chat here. You're kind of seeing what I'm doing. But what about a start to finish? Is that what really brought this to fruition?
Yeah, I'd actually already thought of it before I did that last live. That the live that you're talking about was just kind of I go in. This is another. You and I always end up talking about social media, but I feel like I go live on Instagram a lot and realized I hadn't done it on Facebook in a long time, and went live on Facebook just to see what the reaction would be, thinking like, if we get enough people and they seem engaged enough and not just leaving like rude troll comments, I think we should do a cook-along live. And basically the idea for it is it's going to happen this Saturday, and I've published a list I've published the dish, a list of ingredients on my website at jesspryles.com/cookwithme. And so you can go out and get those ingredients for yourself. And I made it very, very simple so that even with all of the, the limitations that we have here, I even put in some links for online meat suppliers. You buy the stuff, you tune in at 5 o'clock Central, and basically we cook together. And I've never done anything like this before. It's going to be pretty chill. It's a different format. It's on YouTube. So if you are listening and want to join, make sure you head to my website to check out all the information. And just gratuitously, I guess, I've also partnered with some amazing companies like PK Grills and ThermoWorks and this great brand out of Austin here called Barbecue Wife that makes margaritas and Bloody Mary mix that uses smoked ingredients. And they've all offered exclusive discounts on all of their products if you visit that site, because that's what I'm going to be cooking on and drinking and all that kind of stuff. So the premise is this. It's free. If you don't have the money, if you don't want to spend the money, you can still tune in because it's free, and you can make it as interactive or non-interactive as you would like. But it's just I'm just super excited to see how many folks we can get kind of cooking along.
What is your expectation? Certainly, you want to have a good production. You want to make sure that the internet is good and people are seeing and your agenda is being driven. But how are you able to gauge how successful this is going to be?
I mean, there's no set agenda just in that respect, but or there's no hidden agenda, rather. But I think it's interesting that you bring up production. Yes, I'll have good internet, but it's just going to be me on my cell phone. And, that's one of the hallmarks of it being free.
Yeah, right.
But the nice part about us all being in the same boat here is the same as watching, Jimmy Fallon from his living room or Saturday Night Live from their home, is that there's just this tremendous forgiveness for production value right now, which is, y'all know I'm stuck in my house as much as you are. And it's not about having the credits and the camera and the right lighting and a B-roll. It's just about honest cooking, and also in real time. Like, I think I publish a new video every week on Facebook, on YouTube, on IGTV, but they're all pre-done. Like, they're all edited and, sharp little 3-minute packages. And this is live. This is just like being in class, you're going to see the good and the bad, and you're going to see how I do things from go, not just, extremely edited. It'll be pretty relaxed. And I think that for a lot of people right now, we just want to feel connected to other people and know that other people are out there and know that they're going through the same thing and know that they're not on a super yacht. Like, I'm crossing my fingers it doesn't rain because I don't have a great rain cover out in my yard. And if it doesn't, well, hell, I'll be out in the rain just like y'all. It's just real.
Jess Pryles joining me here on the show, talking about the live cook-along that she's going to be doing this coming Saturday. So hit up her YouTube page. Make sure that you are getting all the reminders to subscribe while you're there, too, as well. As she mentioned, she's putting out videos once a week. What are you cooking this weekend, and what are we drinking this weekend?
We are drinking, I see my brain goes straight to drinking these days. We're cooking carne asada tacos, and the reason is because you can use cooked steak, so it's not like you have to get this type of steak. It's pretty open. It'll be nice and easy to cook, and I've given a recipe for what I call my jalapeno crack sauce for people to make in advance. So that's what we're cooking, and then I'm going to eventually end up with a barbecue wife margarita because it's still like 85 degrees or 90 degrees, I think, on Saturday here in Texas. But I'm starting with the new Lone Star have a brand new beer out called Rio Jade. But that might be another Barbecue Central exclusive because they haven't formally really announced it yet.
Hey, how about that? Thank you, ma'am. That's very nice of you.
You bet you got it. So it's a Mexican-style lager, and then, whatever anyone at home wants to drink, just raise it up to the camera, we'll cheers it, and we'll have a great time.
Now, you're not going to take the drink and, tap it against the phone, right? Because that's, the lamest shit ever.
Oh, no, that's exactly what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to dedicate it to you.
Hell no. Oh, my God. I hate when people... Never mind. We'll talk about that.
Are you going to be on there trolling me? Come on.
Yes, of course I'm going to be on there trolling you. Are you kidding me? It's my favorite part. When I see there's a very few select people that I see go live, I'm like, okay, I'm in, and how can I possibly troll in the nicest way possible? So I'll be there for sure. Yeah, and plus I love carne asada tacos. The girls love carne asada tacos. I don't drink anymore, so I'll be. Although I did get a box of some kind of what the hell is it called? Curious Elixir or some shit. So it's non-alcoholic, but it's supposed to be real. Highbrow mocktail kind of stuff. So all the stuff that might be a cocktail. Yeah, so we'll see how that. So maybe I'll drink one of those as you guys are enjoying your barbecue wife margaritas. All right, so this is 5 Central, correct? So that would be 6 Eastern.
Correct.
All right, so we'll look forward to that on Saturday. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about this evening is a couple weeks ago, you posted one of the schmancy videos about your thoughts on resting meat. A number of years ago, I had a second Tuesday of the month regular visit with Meathead from AmazingRibs.com, and he went and expounded on his reasons about not or resting meat. And I wanted to have you on since you did the video, and it's kind of sparked a resurgence of the topic, and get just some high-level thoughts on why you like to rest, if you're resting for a specific period of time, when you're resting something that is this thick or that thick, does it correspond with rest? And then we'll start digging into some more specifics from there. But what do you think about resting?
I mean, I'm very pro resting. From a meat science perspective, it allows time for the muscle fibers to basically re-separate after the trauma of heat being applied, which creates room in between the fibers, which allows the moisture to redistribute. It's not that it's returning on a cellular level, it's just redistributing. That's the theory behind how it works. The hallmark of modern Central Texas brisket is the rest. It's that extended, allowing the temperature to come down, and then that extended hold. That's what Mr. Franklin perfected. For a steak, particularly, I guess my signature dish is like a smoked tri-tip with the Hardcore black, because it smokes in about an hour. There is, I mean, I've served that dish to, 3,000 Australians at Beef Australia, where it's been held in a cooler for 4 hours because it just holds that well at a safe temperature. But there is a marked difference between the meat when it's rested and non-rested in terms of texture. And I notice it with steaks as well, tremendously. And it's enough to the point where it's not a fluke. It's my opinion as someone who has cooked a dang lot of meat in my lifetime. And I think that it changes the texture of the finished dish too. So I'm a huge fan of it. And I know that Meathead disagrees, and that he's published his opinions and also Dr. Blonder's findings on this. And I kind of referenced this when I posted the video because I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Meathead and what he does. And I was kind of waiting to be pilloried by his loyal followers, and I just sort of explained, that the experiments even that Dr. Blonder conducts are not really done in lab standard conditions. They're probably not done with a big enough sample to be considered a formal experiment. It's just a kind of educated opinion, I guess. So, and same with the stuff that I do on my videos. So, for example, what kind of scales is he using? Is he using a sample size that's big enough? Is the scale microscopic enough to measure the juices to that extent? And so it kind of just becomes like two professionals entitled to their differing opinions, because unless both of us are going to repeat an experiment under university lab conditions over and over to garner kind of irrefutable data, and even in that case, some university and formal findings can often be refuted by different tests and different experiments. Until that happens, it's just going to have to be a respectfully agree to disagree thing.
Well, I think here's what's important to note, and it's this. There is no, and from Meathead's admission 2 weeks ago as well, there is no definitive scientific study that has been done on resting meat yet. He attempted to commission Texas Tech at one point to the tune of $50,000. The science department or whoever would be in charge of that evidently didn't have enough graduate assistants or enough interest or both to put that to the test or experiment to produce some kind of scientific finding. So to Meathead's own admission, it's merely his opinion that resting a steak for only a few minutes is something that he would prefer versus taking the same kind of steak and resting it for 5 or 10, or let's say a defined period of time. So for instance, Jess, if you were cooking a steak that's 1.25 inches thick, do you then look at that and say, okay, because it is this and that, I'm going to rest for X period of time and I will do that every time? Or is it just from the grill to the table, collecting some sides, and whatever time has transpired is okay to you?
Yeah, I don't set a timer, and it's definitely proportionate to the cook time. So barbecue gets an extended kind of rest in a sort of heated cooler, so a makeshift hot box. But for steak, I mean, I just do that loose foil, and as you mentioned, just kind of get a few other bits and pieces together. But I know the longer that I'm patient, the better the result. So I try and, push myself and slap my husband's hand away from sneaking bits of steak and all that kind of stuff. Right. But I'll tell you something interesting, and I forgot completely to mention this, but it's an interesting note regarding even when you do commission a study. So I had a really interesting exchange with the professor at K-State who was behind the Umai dry bag studies, because that's one of their big things, these dry aging bags that they're like, but look, here's the university study. And I like to not take things on face value, and I reached out to him directly and just asked him a couple of questions, and he was a wonderful human being who was super kind to answer them. And one of the questions that I asked him, based on my experience, which wasn't with the Umai brand, was that the meat that I had in that bag smelled very much like domestic refrigerator. And I said, well, in your findings, when you found all this stuff, did you actually conduct your experiment in a domestic refrigerator that had other food in it, that was being used by other people, that was constantly being opened and closed, or did you do it in a large commercial refrigerator with an aggressive fan? What do you think the answer was?
The second one.
Right. So how would he possibly know from that finding what the impact of other fridge content is going to have on the flavor?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
It's not going to be in that finding, so the more you know.
Just two quick questions before I let you go tonight, and I appreciate the time. Aside from anything barbecue related, what's your favorite podcast to listen to?
Mike Rowe.
Oh, yeah, I love Mike Rowe. Great voice, too, by the way.
He's got such a soothing voice.
I know.
He's like America's fun uncle.
He's the only guy that can turn dangerous, life-threatening fishing for crab into, like, really nice and soothing kind of stuff. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, what's the best Alice in Chains song with Lane Staley?
Oh, my God. Man in the Box. 100%.
Oh, so close. Of course, we do know it's Damn That River. I mean, of course, it's Damn That River.
No, you're so wrong right now. God.
Now, here's the harder question. Here's the harder question. Best Alice in Chains song without Lane Staley.
That's just a trick question, Rempy. There isn't one.
What? Come on. You're not going to give William a shot? You don't like Alice in Chains without Lane? No?
I've seen him live twice, and the reason I like him, with no disrespect to the man, because I've never actually met him, is that he sounds enough like Lane that I can go and see them in concert and be satisfied.
All right, well, mine is your decision. I think that's kind of a heart-wrenching song for some reason. You don't like that song?
Well, there you go. You know, it's like how you stopped listening to Metallica after Black Album. I stopped listening after Lane.
Yeah. Did you come back for Hardwired, though, or did you eject? Or did you never leave?
No, because I tried to get into Cantrell's solo album, and then I was like, oh, what is this? And I got burned, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, forget about all this nonsense. Go and check out Jess Pryles on her websites, JessPryles.com and HardcoreCarnivore.com. But most importantly, make sure you get over to YouTube on this coming Saturday, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and cook along with Jess as we make some great carne asada tacos, have some great adult beverages like margaritas from Barbecue Wife and all the other good stuff. Jess, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you.
You got it. There she is, Jess Pryles, right there. On this show, and we're just a little late, but I don't see Derrick in the green room right now, so I guess we're okay at the moment. Derrick, if you're watching, get in the green room. Use the link. Oh, wait. Do I not have my email up somewhere? Derrick's very smart. I'm sure he'll be on here in just a second. All right, thanks again to Jess Pryles for coming on. Don't forget, Cook Along with Jess is coming Saturday. That's right. Maybe you have a barbecue guru. You can probably use that this coming Saturday. They've always believed that outdoor cooking should be easy and fun because it can be. They have a couple different cookers for you to choose from, a monolith and a shotgun cooker. And they have 2 new control devices now ready to ship to you, the DynaQ and the Ultra Q. That's right. Hey, there he is. All right. Derrick Riches in the green room. So if you want to have something that was more akin to the Party Q, which was like the easiest point of entry into automatic temperature control devices, the DynaQ is the one that you're going to want to check out. Now, if you want the one that's replacing that Cyber Q, the Ultra Q is the version that you're going to want to check out. Now, if you have a monolith grill that the Barbecue Guru makes, that has a built-in power draft fan. So you just hook in whatever controller you get right to the fan and the monolith, and away you go. The shotgun cooker accommodates all the Barbecue Guru temperature control devices as well. So you're all locked and loaded. If you have any questions, give them a call, 800-288-GURU. Or you can visit bbqguru.com. We're back with Derrick Riches right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by cookinpellets.com. If you have a pellet-fired cooker, you're going to want to try cookinpellets.com. You don't like cookinpellets.com's website to buy off of Amazon.com. For crying out loud, why not? Hey, it's the fourth Tuesday of the month. You know what that means. We have to go to the affectionately referred to bristly barbecue journalist, Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. Hey, Derrick.
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
The question is, can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's the good news. Is the volume is good? I don't want to immediately go into the weeds, but was it like a simple fix, or did you have to break everything down to get to the microphone?
I just had to go through and remove everything the computer thought was a microphone, and then put this one back in. So
yeah.
You know.
Well, plenty of microphones that weren't microphones, and the real microphone. Now we're all locked and loaded and ready to go. We're talking with Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. All right, Derrick, so let me ask you, since it was kind of the hot topic here over the last couple of weeks, resting steak when it's done. Are you a fan of resting steak? And if so, are you doing it for a designated period of time, or is it just from when you get it to the grill, collect sides, and get everything to the table?
I don't set a timer. I do rest. I believe in resting. I think it's my experience is it improves the quality. So I do rest. But depending upon the thickness, if it's a steak over an inch, then I'm going to be more conscious of the amount of time. If it's under, it's an inch or under, then the time it takes me to get it in and get stuff set up is pretty much my resting time. So, but I rest meat.
All right. Derrick, also, the last couple visits, we learned about that Masterbuilt gravity fed. We had talked a little bit more about it last month. Have you had any occasion to know a little bit more about it or hear anything further? I did have the owners on a couple weeks ago, and obviously they're very happy with the Masterbuilt gravity fed and the way it's operating. They also have a bigger version coming out here very soon. What do you know about it?
The 1050 is kind of sort of out.
All right.
Some people have been able to get it. It's been pretty spotty so far. You got to kind of watch for it, but that is kind of going out. That's kind of the one I've been looking for because I like the size on it. So I've been kind of holding off for that one, but I haven't had a chance to get out and find it, largely because I'm still getting used to the roads here. I've had contact from the PR team behind Masterbuilt. I mean, Masterbuilt is now kind of Masterbuilt, Kamado Joe, and Smoke Hollow are all kind of in the same company now. So they have a big PR firm, and they've been sending me corrections. They really want a very positive spin on everything, and while I think it's a good product, it's a good grill, it's still got kind of some of the Masterbuilt issues. There's some lightweightness to it. There's problems with some of the paint, and they're really emphatic about that it will hold a steady 150 cooking temperature, which I haven't been able to see. I mean, in the one unit I got to play with, I couldn't get it there, and a lot of people have kind of agreed with me that the atmospheric conditions have to be kind of ideal to get down to those temperatures before it'll kind of flame out. So I've been kind of politely not agreeing with what the PR people are saying at this point.
Do we care if it can really hold a 150 temperature before it snuffs itself out? I mean, I don't know a lot of people that are doing anything at that temperature unless, I mean, it's still a little too warm for a cold smoke, so why bother?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I kind of said that its bottom temperature, bottom stable temperature is closer to about 200 to 220. And I wouldn't make an issue of it if they didn't keep sending me emails saying they want to make an issue of it.
So
at that point, I started getting, okay.
Do you take it
You wanna
upon
play?
yourself? Do you take it upon yourself to say, hey, here's my biggest criticism. I think at 200 or 225, we have no issues, and then going up. But why are you continuing to harbor on 150 when you have an issue? Let's get off of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, when I've talked about the product before, I said, well, it's kind of some lightweight bit. There's some packaging issues. It's kind of flimsy in certain parts. They're not taking any issue with that. To kind of say it's got some cheap build to it. Some of the parts are not, as strong as they should be, or the metal is not as great as it should be. They're not going to argue that point. But the 150 cooking temperature, that's something that they really want to. So I think it's just kind of funny. So I'll just continue to play with them on that one for as long as they want to go.
All right, Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com joining me here on the show. By the way, you had just referenced it. We congratulate you on the trek from Salt Lake City, Utah to a barbecue mecca, Austin, Texas. Well, Texas, its own barbecue mecca, but of course, Austin, a super hyper mecca because of all the great barbecue that's down there. How was that move? And you did it in the midst of coronavirus. Not planned, by the way. It just so happens you were that lucky.
No, yeah. We had sold our house before this whole thing came up, and we had some time to kind of plan the move. And then all this happened, and like every plan we had fell apart, and we had to kind of reorganize the entire move, getting everything here. And then, it's like, oh, great. I just landed in Austin, Texas, and everything's closed.
Yeah.
So, it's fun.
Is the move for work? Like, did you, being a barbecue guy, is it better for you to be there, or you just wanted to change out of Salt Lake and go to Austin, and deal with bad traffic, or what?
Yeah. Well, we my wife and I, we've talked about moving for well over a year, and we spent a lot of time kind of like, where do we go, and we kind of settled on saying, Austin would be really cool. It'd be a lot of fun to move to Austin. So that's all there is to it. There's, it's not like, moving here because I have a job here. But it does facilitate kind of being involved in the barbecue community a little bit better. Puts me a little more centrally located to things, and I can get out and do more road trips when things are open.
Do I smell any like team barbecue journalism with you and Daniel Vaughn, or are you more lone wolfy?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Daniel, so well, I thought it's like, great. Well, when I get down here, I'll contact him, make some plans. We'll go out somewhere. We'll hit some barbecue joints, maybe.
Sure.
See if he's interested. So, I'm kind of planning on that in the next little while here as things start to open up again. But I don't know that, I don't think Daniel knows I'm here. So,
well, I bet he does now. No doubt. He's a big fan of the show, so I'm sure he's widely aware now. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about cooker-wise. Yeah, call Derrick, Daniel. Come on. I mean, quit sandbagging. Let's go. Have you heard any rumors about Pit Barrel making a somewhere in the neighborhood of 50-gallon drum model versus the 30 that they have currently, and then a smaller Pit Barrel Junior?
Yeah, they got the Junior out. It's a 55-gallon Pit Barrel. It's been designed for competition, and I talked with Amber about it a couple of months ago, and I haven't talked to Noah about it. Supposedly May, June-ish was the last I had heard on its availability, but I haven't had a chance to check back and kind of firm that up. I haven't seen that anything's being said about it yet, but it looks interesting. I mean, it's an interesting idea. See how that does on kind of the competition circuit. I think there's it certainly could get some good press that way.
Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com joining me here on the show. Derrick, let's talk about a item that I just seen on the news here over the last 36 hours, which is a forecasted meat shortage that is predicted to hit by the week's end. What do you know about it, and are you at all worried about that?
Well, this is changing very rapidly. We now have word that an executive order should come from the White House tonight or tomorrow, basically stating that the meat processing facilities will be considered vital to American trade, and it will kind of eliminate liability issues from the meat packers should their employees get sick while working. So that's kind of weird that way. But the idea is to try and force these companies to reopen the facilities. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can go to Tyson and say, yeah, a lot of the employees at this facility got sick. You have been asked to make a lot of changes to the way you operate, but you have to open now. And I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, this is being sent specifically at Tyson and Smithfield and some of the big, meat processing facilities. So I don't know how that's going to go. I know that, they've been in the process of trying to get the staff in place. They've had to bring in new people to work in these facilities because they have a large group of people who are kind of out sick for extended periods of time, as well as make the changes that USDA wanted and OSHA wanted from them. So, at this point, I think pork production is down 25% because of the processing. Chicken is down about 10. Chicken and beef are down about 10% at this point. Those facilities should be up and running in a couple of weeks, but now the problem of it is it's literally headline news everywhere. I mean, it's all over the media, and that means people are out buying meat. And I've been looking at forums on Facebook and stuff like that, and people are like, yeah, I put in a $400 order at Sam's Club. I'm picking it up in the morning. And I was talking with a guy I know who is in works in online retail selling appliances, and he says that there's been a spike in people buying deep freezes in the last day. And it's like, okay, great. So people are planning to hoard meat.
Yeah,
and
meat
so,
is going to be the new toilet paper, right?
Yeah, it's what I'm afraid of. I mean, the truth of the matter is that the livestock are there, getting them to slaughterhouses, getting it processed, getting it to stores. That's where the problem is. And since there's that tie up right now, there's a lot of livestock just kind of sitting, waiting, and they're going to start culling that because they simply don't have the feed to kind of keep that stock in place. So, and another thing, I was looking through some forums and was talking with some people in a number of barbecue joints down this way, and they're already talking about the fact that they're hearing prices going up. So that, the governor of Texas has said, you can start opening up your restaurants under a limited basis.
Right.
And now they're being told by their suppliers that their prices are shooting up. So
not only can you not have as many people in, we're going to also raise your meat costs and tell you can't have as many people in as you once were able to.
Yeah, I mean, how, we're going to have 2 weeks down here of 25% restaurant capacity, and I don't know how you run a restaurant when you're limited to a quarter of your customer base. I mean, you lose money on that. So anyway, and if prices are going to go up, you're really kind of getting the short end of the stick there.
Do you have any thoughts on how you think this will work out here over the next handful of weeks? Do you think that at all? I have read some of this on the internet, and I believe about nothing on the internet, but I've seen a handful of folks post that technically this is really just a conspiracy by the meat producers or the meat processors in a way to jam everybody up so they can get more money.
Well, there's certainly something to be said for that, because basically, some of these huge corporations are basically coming back and saying, oh, well, we don't have the capacity to process the meat right now, so there's going to be, huge shortages and prices are going to skyrocket. And it's like, if prices skyrocket, you're making so much more money. It's like, why are you pretending to be upset by this? And, it's not like, it's like the oil companies coming back and going, boy, the price of gas just shot through the roof. That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, no, not for you. It isn't. Everyone else it is. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that, some more of this comes to light, but, literally the last 2 months, you have to wake up to a new world every day as it is. And this is just another new thing.
We'll keep track of it, of course. Make sure you're reading Derrick Riches' stuff at DerrickRiches.com. Always posting great items. Follow him on social media as well. Derrick, always appreciate the time, and we will look for you again next month.
Yeah, thank you. See you in a month.
You got it. There he is, Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. And that is a thing, right? Remember, here's the best part of the meat shortage that we're going to be coming into, maybe, if you're not a conspiracy theorist. Technically, we didn't even need toilet paper either, but trust me, I don't mean what I'm about to say in any other way than in a very realistic sense. We don't need meat. There's plenty of other things to eat. Fish, pasta, berries on your head. Plenty of other stuff. Salad. We can make it through this point. Just like we could have made it through without buying 8 cases of toilet paper when you go to the store. Don't get jammed up on meat prices because the processors are either trying to jam us up or there really is going to be a shortage and prices are just going to jack up because supply will not be nearly as good as demand. The prices are going to go up. When the demand is there, prices will go up. You don't need it to survive. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant at home, you're in luck because Fireboard fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting Fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232 for more info. We thank Derrick Riches again for joining us and talking about what's happening in the world of the news and live fire. Just give me 1 second. That's a little better. You can find Derrick on the 4th Tuesday of the month, 9:35 segment. What about you guys in the chat room, Facebook too? You guys worried about the impending meat shortage that is going to be showing up by the end of this week, potentially? I put in my call to Kevin Green over at the butcher shop in Pensacola, Florida. I said, send me half a ton of your finest prime beef. He's like, we'll get the reefer truck loaded up and ship it your way. Not really. But I would make the call if I thought it would benefit. It's not going to benefit. All right, we are wrapping the first hour. We thank, again, Jess Pryles, HardcoreCarnivore.com. Make sure you're checking her out this coming Saturday, and you can cook along with her, and that's fun. Just go to YouTube and make sure that you're signed up for her new shot. Get the reminders and the subscribe while you're there. Make carne asada tacos, drink margaritas. Should be fun. I'll be there hanging out. We'll be right back. Stick around.
This is Jennifer Palamas from Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is Barbecue Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
Now listen, Libertius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Hey, just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. It's the Barbecue Central show. If you've missed the first hour, what have you done? Don't worry, I'm recording the show. You'll get it tomorrow in the first hour. Lucky you. This second hour won't show up until Thursday, but if you missed the first hour, you're fine. You'll get it tomorrow. My gift to you, for those tuning in late, podcasting. It's a whole thing. It's going to be big. Trust me. Looking back into the instant chat on my question about are you worried about the impending meat shortage that could be showing up as early as the end of the week. Barbecue, the Backyard Barbecue Show. Jason King is in the house. YouTube sensation. Canada exports lots of meat, driving up our prices. But you know what you do take? You take the horse meat, taking away our option. We get boatloads from California. Well, without boats. Dead Broke Barbecue. I'm buying every single new mini Kit Kat I can find soon. Guy the Cooking Sam, support your local meat processor. We have them all around. Good time to get to know them. I agree with that. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue, who is also now in deep fascination with my first hour guest. Nope, deep freezer fully stocked up, so he's not worried about it. 1984 Barbecue, media-driven hype again. They're running out of stuff to scare people with. Tucker Cousins, who will be a embedded correspondent in the month of May. I just looked at Costco, and they were saying 19 cents a pound for prime brisket. Is that right? Tucker, 19 cents a pound? Everybody should go to Costco immediately. Wow. Sylvie Curry with no competitions. It's not an immediate impact to me. So there you go. Cooking with CJ's tried to buy a deep freezer. Nowhere to be found. Sold out everywhere. Wow. Tucker says $4.19 a pound. All right. Is that good for prime? That seems like it's probably still a pretty good price, right? All right. I'm not worried about it. I have like 8 to 9 Chilean sea bass fillets in the deep freeze. I also have a huge pack from Gordon Food Services of chicken patties. Really big cans of tomato sauce. So I can go chicken parmigiana. I can go Chilean sea bass parmigiana. How long can it last? I mean, we're on the other side of this coronavirus. I'm going out tomorrow, resuming full work. Come on, bring it on. This meat crisis will be gone like in 48 hours. It'll be like a miracle. It'll be gone immediately. Don't even worry. Just don't worry about it. Don't even think twice about it. You're fine. Make some grilled cheese to tide you over. Maybe some mac and cheese. I'm sure bologna isn't going anywhere. Grab bologna. Bologna cheese and mustard sandwiches, cold are delicious. Toasted, even better. Make a bologna cheese and mustard sandwich. Cut it in half. Take one half. Make it a fried bologna cheese and mustard sandwich, and then eat the other one cold. It's a brilliant clash of texture, flavor, and heat. Sam, the cooking guy, would be very happy. Backyard Barbecue Show is absolutely right. I can go right to Lake Erie and catch as much fish as I want. For instance, that stuff that everybody seems to like that comes out of Lake Erie. Walleye. I think perch are there and perhaps even some bass. Rockfish. Is that a thing? I don't fish. Fishing is a complete waste of time. I'd rather play soccer. And you will never hear me say that. But I'm pretty sure I would rather watch soccer than fish. Fish? Come on. Don't forget, on this show yet to come is the Embedded Correspondents segment. And then in the second part of the EC segment, we have the American Idol Embedded Correspondents version. And me, the host. I'm here too. That's right. Your pals Doug and Ricer and me will be singing for fame and adulation. And we'll also be trying to move to the final round, which will be taking place in May, where, of course, we will have a pre-recorded duet, and then the two finalists will be singing live right here on the show. It will not be pre-recorded. Tonight's will be pre-recorded. I'll get into the rules here around 10:35 or so. Don't forget, you can still follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, Snappy Snap, and TikTok /BBQ Central Show on Facebook. It's very fun, very exciting. Coming up this Friday on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm taking you all the way back to January 25th, 2011. Can you believe it? That was 9+ years ago. Look, let me be honest. I'm not even sure how to set this one up. I mean, every week I'm able to give you a very succinct heads up on what the high level is going to be this coming Friday. I don't even know how to set this one up. It's not a look back at an interview or a guest or something that you've been accustomed to here on the show. It's just me running my fat yapper for about 8.5 to 9 minutes. And I do want to say this. While I find some of the stuff from 2011 that I will be saying in this best of cringeworthy, I think is about right. I'm also happy to report that over time, I have evolved as a human. So if you like hearing about the show and little people and Betty White, who doesn't love hearing Betty White? You might be interested in this coming Friday's best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Put expertly together by Michigan embedded correspondent John Solberg, who you'll be hearing from here in about 8 minutes. But what can I tell you? It's out of the ordinary and a quick peek into what things were racing through my head in a January of 2011. By the way, Cleveland Grilling, Rick's Barbecue and Specialties, Betty White, One Sexy Grandma. Yes. Agreed and agreed. I think also one of the most underrated Golden Girls. Betty White is absolutely stellar, a comedic genius. I think my favorite Golden Girl, I still watch them to this day at one of those stupid high-end channels, runs Golden Girls all weekend, all day and all night, one right after the other. I love it. I tune right in on Saturdays, just leave it running in the background. My favorite Golden Girl, hands down, B. Arthur. She's the best. But second, or 1A, 1B, is Betty White. The old bag, B. Arthur's mom, I'm not a fan of her. Stell Getty, I think is her name. And then Blanche Devereaux, I hate her. B. Arthur is the best. Dorothy. And Betty White is, what's her name on the show? Rose Nyland, right? She's my favorite. Okay, programming notes for May, as we have a couple minutes left here before we run into the Embedded Correspondence segment. I think I mentioned this last week, but I did want to mention this. May 6th. Now, both of these are extra shows. These are not happening on Tuesdays. These will be Wednesday shows coming at you at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry. No, not 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Central, but 3 p.m. Eastern where I live. So make sure that you follow me on social media at BBQ Central Show, Facebook, / BBQ Central Show on Facebook for the fan page, as I will be making reminder announcements. But follow me socially, because I'm not going to assume that you're just going to remember what I'm talking to you about now. On May 6th, which is a Wednesday, at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will have an exclusive live show in conjunction with the American Royal Association, specifically Emily Park, where we will be announcing the 9 semifinalists for this year's Hall of Fame. The 9 semifinalists. Then, 3 weeks from that date, 5/27, or as we say in English, May 27th, again a Wednesday, again at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and again an exclusive joint venture between the BBQ Central Show and the American Royal Association, again specifically with Emily Park. We will have the key announcement, the exclusive announcement of the 2020 Barbecue Hall of Fame class live on this show, just like we did last year, believe it or not. Very exciting. Happy to partner with the American Royal Association once again as we bring to you this year an added bonus show live on 5/6, where we will be giving you the 9 semifinalists. Yes. And then, of course, on May 27th, the exclusive announcement of the 3 that will be making up the induction class of 2020. I got to tell you, as I'm looking in the green room right now, I'm very nervous. I see John. I see Christian coming in. No Ricer. Doug looks frozen, but maybe he's just shocked. Doug, raise your hand if you can hear me. Yeah, he's not there. By the way, I've been meaning to get to a banana peel take that has eluded me for literally 3 months at this point. I just can't get to it. I want to get to it, but I can't get to it. And maybe you don't want me to get to it. Maybe subconsciously I don't want to get to it, but we'll see one of these weeks. I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills before we get to the Embedded Correspondents. A couple different pellet cookers to choose from a models and line-wise. You have a choice line, which is what they came out with originally. They offer that still today. Doesn't have the tech. If you want to save a couple bucks, you don't need the internal meat probes, you don't need the Wi-Fi technology, but you still want a great pellet cooker. Then the choice line is what you're going to want to take a look at. They have the Jim Bowie and the Daniel Boone. Now, if you want to kick up a couple bucks because you want the Wi-Fi technology, because you want the peek-in windows on the cooking chamber and the pellet hopper, and you want the internal meat probes and all that good stuff, then the Prime line is the one you're going to want to get. Hi, Doug. You will have the ability to choose between whichever one you want. Here's the good news. Jim Bowie, Daniel Boone, also for Prime line, and both lines accommodate the pizza oven insert, which you're going to have to get. You got to get it. If you're going to get a Green Mountain Grill, Jim Bowie, or Daniel Boone, you got to get the pizza oven insert. It's so good. Go to greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com to check out their whole line of products and accessories, and check out where their dealers are as well. We'll be back with the Embedded Correspondents right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Monthly visits from a killer hog, a cooking guy, a man named Meathead, the author of Barbecue Bible, a grill girl, a bristly barbecue journalist, and the male feasts of the barbecue world known as the Embedded Correspondents. Only found right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
That's right. This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet. Currently available in 2 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you're a beginner or professional, it's definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. In fact, I believe next week we will have first look at the finally finished and potentially newly released lifestyle room at the Pit Barrel Cooker headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. It is the 4th Tuesday of the month. You know what that means. We have to race to the proverbial hotline and welcome in the embedded correspondent. So here we go. We have Doug in Texas. We have Jon in Michigan. We have Ricer in Wisconsin. And we have a new guy right there. His name is Christian Arfsten, and he's from Houston, Texas as well. So we have 2 Texas embedded correspondents here, which I certainly appreciate and adore. So let's start with you, Christian, since you are a first-time embedded correspondent. A little bit about you and what you might do for a living, and we'll talk about your love of live fire.
Sure. So, I've been here in Houston, Texas for about 10 years. I'm an actuary. If you don't know what an actuary is, I don't. Deal with. Yeah, not many people do. It's a pretty uncommon career. So I deal with, right now I'm dealing with fixed annuities. In general, an actuary does risk for an insurance company. And that's a very, very, very broad term for risk.
So, like, you're dictating what my rate might be if I'm a smoker or not a smoker, or you kind of decide how much my rate is going to be?
Yeah. So any insurance product that you've bought has been priced by an actuary. And so, yes, your mortality, your sex, your age, there could be other factors that are thought about when developing these products. And so the actuary will go through, calculate it out, project it forward, and then say, hey, this is how much a person from this profile needs to pay for that product.
So were you like a math major or something in college, or like what's a yes. back, or can you major in actuarying in college?
Yes, actuarial science is a major, but I was a pure mathematics major. Originally, I was a math teacher, and after 2 years, I said, the hell with this job. And so I became an actuary.
Because you didn't like dealing with kids, or what?
I like dealing with kids, but on a much smaller scale. When you're dealing with like 35 10th graders trying to teach them geometry, I think I too would rather watch soccer and then do that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's saying a lot. So if you're a fan of soccer like I am, that's certainly saying a lot. All right. So where does the love of live fire come in?
So I wish I could say that, I grew up in Texas and I've got post-oak smoke running through my bloods, but that's not really the case. I grew up in New York. I moved down here about 10 years ago. I didn't really ever cook before that. And it's just something that I've kind of grown to love. I guess some of the people that I watched were like Alton Brown and Bobby Flay and this other barbecue Hall of Famer, Guy Fieri. I don't know if you ever talked about him on the show or not.
Never. Who's he?
Yeah, I used to watch the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives a lot. So, and that's just kind of what got me into it. And it's just been building ever since.
All right. Well, that's some pretty quick and good background on Christian. So we welcome you here to the fold this month. Obviously, you're not going to be singing, but we're going to be going to you for some expert criticism and feedback as well. It looks like one of the in-studio judges has graced us with her presence. Are you the only one coming tonight, Bobby, or the other one's coming as well? Or what do we... okay. Looks like the other people are folding. You guys are about 12 minutes early, just so you know. Okay. There must be nothing better going on in the world upstairs. So your mic's not on, by the way, so don't talk. It's all muted. So all right, guys. So we have some things to get to before we get to the singing portion of the show. and not the least of which is a hot topic that we've been talking about here over the last couple weeks. It's not a new topic. It's one that we've talked with Meathead about here years ago, and it has resurfaced with Jess Pryles' recent video a couple weeks ago about resting meat. She was just on in the first hour, and she made quite a pitch, although no scientific proof, just opinion, as she said, that she likes to rest meat specifically, and it would appear that she would go for a longer rest, and especially if the meat is bigger or thicker, or depending on how long she cooked it, could be how she's gauging her rest. Let's start with the guy to my right, the Michigan correspondent, Jon Solberg. John, what's your opinion on resting meat? Do you do something specifically, or is it just time from grill to table, collection of stuff, and then whatever happens, happens?
Grilling, time, collection of stuff from the grill to the table. I consider that a rest. I do support resting meat, but I don't time it out. I don't start a clock. Just what it takes for me to get there off the grill. Low and slow, of course, we rest meat. So you go like, you got to be one way or the other. What's the difference? So, but yes, from the grill, I'm going to rest. All right.
Is it different for the bigger stuff? So when we talk about briskets, for instance, or pork butts, or are you a meathead agreeer in that a hold of brisket is different than a rest of steak?
I think that's semantics. I don't. A rest is a hold, no matter where it is, whether it's in a cooler. You've stopped the cooking process. You vented it out. If you're holding it, you're holding it. That's resting.
Doug, your thoughts on resting steak? And we're on mute, Doug. You're not on mute? Are you sure? I mean, he sounds like he's on mute. John, do you think Doug's on mute?
I heard him. I heard some noise when he clicked off his mute. So I believe he is off mute.
Okay. Well, I can't hear you, Doug. Say something else. Oh, dear. I see his lips moving, but I can't hear him at all. All right. Figure your end out. Wait. Hold on. No? Okay. Figure your end out. We'll go to Ricer instead in Wisconsin. Your thoughts on resting, Jeff?
I do a little bit of resting, but it's kind of the same thing. Take it off the grill. By the time I get the numbskulls at the table, or my wife says, hey, we've got, this side dish, but yeah, I rested a little bit because right off the grill, I think there's a little bit of fiber relaxing when you bring it in and let it just sit a little bit.
Do you think you get a more tender product when you rest it?
Yeah, for a little bit. I mean, but I don't set a timer. In my videos, I always say, we're going to let this rest for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. But I don't do anything, really on purpose that, it hasn't rested 5 minutes. Don't eat the fat yet, so.
Jeff, when you were coming up and you're watching some stuff on YouTube, or perhaps the bigger offender is the Food Network, where they seem to be really into telling you, hey, let something rest for at least 10 minutes or at least 15 minutes. Did you hear that coming up?
Well, I mean, I think everybody kind of hears that, don't they? They always say that you should rest a steak. I mean, I think they even practice that kind of sometimes at the restaurants, if they're not crazy busy, because sometimes it seems like it comes out and there's a ton of juice on the plate. Other times it seems like it's, maybe not as juicy. So I think, it depends on how long it's sitting there.
Doug, you got your sound back up? No, he doesn't. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Doug, punch out and come all the way back in. In the meantime, we'll go to Christian. Christian, your thoughts on resting steak?
Yeah, I wish I could say that I'm different than everybody else, but it's pretty much the same process. Off the grill, about 5 minutes. The only thing that I will add is that I do rest it on a cooling rack. I did hear Meathead's his arguments last week, and he says, you put it on a plate, it's going to destroy that crust that you've made. And so to counter that, I do rest everything on a cooling wire rack.
Look, here's what I've found, and I'm probably the least experienced of all of us here. I can get a really good crust or browning or Maillard reaction, but as soon as that thing as soon as that thing's off the grill, even by the time it comes where the top part, what the hell am I even trying to say? It's on the bottom part is still on the grill. The top part, it's not dry. It's never dry. So I don't understand about crust or anything like that. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. The browning is, I agree. I mean, that's where your flavor is. I've never been a fan of grill marks or anything like that. I want a complete browning or as much of a browning across the top of the steak as I can get. And then it goes on the plate and then right onto the table. There were a handful of times where I said, we're going to rest it for 10 minutes. And there was maybe a negligible difference, but I don't even know if it was negligible in a good or a bad way. And I did notice that there was just an incredible amount of juice on my plate the longer that I let it rest there. So if it's all going to run out when I cut into it, 2 minutes outside of the grill, or it's all going to be there 10 minutes outside of the grill, I don't think there's a huge difference anyway, but that's my opinion. Doug, what do you think? Oh, shit. Oh, dear. You're going to have a hard time sticking up for yourself here when we bash you for your singing. I can tell you that. All right. Christian, let me start with you here on this question, and then we'll be getting ready to head to the cooking segment. Don't knock the lights down here, ladies. Shush. Are you worried about the impending meat shortage that is coming this weekend, or the end of the week, as the news is telling us?
I hadn't heard of it until you brought it up the past segment.
Oh, really?
It's something I'll look into.
Barbecue Central Show, exclusive news.
Guess what? Going to the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio. That's not Cleveland, by the way. We're running out of meat. Hurry! Oh, God. So you didn't hear anything about it, but so are you going to race to the store tomorrow and try and gobble up what you can get?
I'll look into it, but I'm not going to hoard it. I already have a freezer pretty much stocked, so I'm not worried about it.
All right. What about you, Jeff? You worried about the meat shortage coming this week?
No, not really. I mean, if we do, I'm just going to eat seafood, whatever. We'll figure something out to eat, I mean, it's not going to last very long. There's a meat packing plant that's got a bunch of COVID in Green Bay that's close to me, so, who knows what's going to happen to that deal. But, again, I'm not really that worried about the grocery stores that everybody and the butcher stores are all going to run out.
All right. John, your thoughts on running out of meat by the end of the week?
I think the panic buy will start. As everyone has said earlier in the show, it's going to be the next toilet paper. I do believe there'll be some glitches in the supply chain, but it's going to be short term, and it's not going to affect me.
All right. Doug, you still have no audio? Yep, still no audio. So Doug is completely not worried about the meat issue going on. It's great. All right. And then last question here, guys, before we jump to the singing portion of the show, and we'll start with Jeff over in Wisconsin. Favorite Corona meal so far?
My buddy brought over, or actually we went and picked it up, but he made homemade pizza last Saturday, and it was just fun to have a homemade, a couple of them, homemade pizzas from a guy that's a friend, and he threw them together, and they're fantastic. So, I ate enough during the Corona thing of regular just barbecue, so it was kind of fun to have a pizza.
Was it on a pizza oven, or did he bring some special gadget over, or what?
No, I mean, he just made his own crust, made his own sauce. He has a really awesome Italian sausage, and he just took some good Wisconsin cheese and put together a couple pizzas and went over and picked them up. So it was all homemade and fresh. It was cool.
Isn't good Wisconsin cheese redundant? Right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
It is. Yeah.
All right. John, your favorite coronavirus meal to date?
Here by myself, and meals have not been stellar. The best thing I've done to myself, I picked up a frozen pizza. I put it on the egg. That's way out of my normal dietary range.
Huh.
It's all I got.
Are you doing pork steaks too?
Today I did some, lately the pork is being chopped into weird cuts, and they're naming it different things. Those were like a weird cut of a pork chop. They called it center cut. They're doing a lot of different kind of things to fill the case. So they looked like pork steaks, but they were pork chops.
Oh, all right. Christian, favorite coronavirus meal so far?
Last weekend I did tonkatsu, which is a fried pork chop. I did it with fried rice. So I did a Chinese meal. I came out really good. I really enjoyed that.
All right, let me see if this possibly works. I'm going to go to the judges and ask for them. Ladies, favorite Corona meal to date so far? Bobby?
Steak.
Okay, I'll get reaching out of the depths there. Marley, favorite Corona meal so far?
Steak. I don't have a microphone.
There's a microphone right here. This is a microphone.
I didn't know how to use it.
Who's got the earbud?
Cheeseburger casserole.
Bobby, don't put the microphone so close to your face.
Why?
You don't have to put your hands on it.
I just
Pretend
got
like you're
so excited.
I know, but don't be excited. Maddie, favorite coronavirus meal?
Honey Nut Cheerios. Get off.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Avocado toast.
My God.
I eat a lot of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Right, Michigan Embedded Correspondent likes the
Dad.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Yes, Bob.
Mom said to check out the link she just sent you about trumpet. I think she meant Trump.
Okay. And I'm going to mute you
Trumpet.
guys. We'll go back. All right, so we're going to head to the first break here, guys. Doug, let's just check back with you real quick. Any sound from you yet or no? Doug's not even there anymore, I don't think. Oh, dear God. He must be backing all the way out and coming all the way back in. That's fine. All right, we are going to... Wait, hold on. Let me ask you one more question, guys. What have you heard about a cooker called the Art Flame? Yay or nay? John?
I've heard about it. I've seen it. It's intriguing. Looks kind of like a parlor trick thing. It's a big griddle. And you can't do much with it unless you want to make a lot of bacon. That's my impression of it. I've never cooked on one, but looks like a big anchor for your patio.
Ricer, your thoughts?
I don't eat at Who Hut, so it really doesn't thrill me any. I've seen it before, but yeah, I don't eat that type of food, so it's not nothing I'd want.
All right, Christian, your thoughts on an Art Flame?
I've only seen it. It looks like a giant pain in the butt. That's all I have to say about it.
All right. I think it rhymes with boat anchor. Well, all right, he's back in. Doug, what do you think about the Art Flame?
No, yeah, I hope damn thing.
All right, he's back.
Thank God.
Thank God. Right, and at the best time possible. I know I can always count on Doug to come through right when it counts the most. All right, Doug, let's quickly go through the questions so we can get your quick take here. Best coronavirus meal to date so far?
Bottle of wine on the back porch with my wife and something grilled.
Oh, nice.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. All right. Worried about the meat shortage coming up at the end of the week?
No, it's overblown like the COVID.
Oh, like the all right. And what do we got? Was that
resting
it?
Meat.
We get you? Oh, right.
Resting
yes, I'm
meat.
sorry. What do you think about resting meat?
This comes from a guy that rests my brisket 6 hours at a contest.
Yep.
I am a meat rester, pulled pork, at least a minimum of 2 hours, brisket, pulled pork, etc. The idea that you rest a steak for 5 to 10 minutes and the texture changes is preposterous. So I think that from the standpoint of if you cook a steak, you eat the damn thing. It'll rest from when you get it off the grill to when you plate it and someone eats it. The juices flow out of the steak. It's right there. I'd rather cut a bite, rub it in the juices, and put it in my mouth. The video that Jess Pryles did, the non-rested steak looked more juicy than the other one.
All right. Doug is back with audio and back with vengeance as we get ready to head to the Embedded Correspondence segment here where we will be singing for your pleasure, and I, of course, use that term loosely. Or you guys hang out just for a moment. Let me duck all your audio here, and we'll be back here in just a moment. Before we get to the American Idol edition of the American Idol portion of the show. I'll talk to you quickly about Southside Market and barbecue. When do you guys want to do the read? No? Maddie, you want to do the read? No? You want to do the read? All right. You read the read there.
Hey?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
Southside Market and barbecue. Oh wait. Attention, folks in the business of BBQ. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue is the oldest BBQ joint in Texas and has been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations.
Wow.
We offer premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real wood. Shipping, distributing, and manufacturing sausages for companies across the U.S. From food trucks to multi-chain restaurants, Southside Sausage can be on your menu too. All meats are processed in our on-site USDA inspected facility. A trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity.
Right.
Wholesale options available, such as shipping nationwide via FedEx and food service distribution via Cisco, US Foods, and Martin Foods. Co-packing capable from R&D to package completion. We can follow your recipes or help you develop something new. Private label opportunities also available. Visit southsidemarket.com for more information. 10% off code for online orders. Code BBQ Central.
That's right. If you want 10% off at Southside Market, Maddie nailing the read. We call a read in the biz, ladies and gentlemen. SouthsideMarket.com and 10% off your order when you use code BBQ Central, all one word, lowercase. That's BBQ Central for 10% off the entire order. Your first time and the next time and the 138th time. It works each and every time. All right. Barbecue Central Show's American Idol edition coming up out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. If you can find it. The choice of championship pitmasters like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Childs Cridlin. Mouthwatering flavor, no artificial ingredients. Smithfield, quite simply, some of the best pork money can buy when you can find it. It is the trusted choice of world championship pitmasters for use at competitions and at home, like my home and their home and Chris Lilly's home and all that fun stuff. So go to smithfield.com and away you go. And as I've always wanted to say, this is American Idol. That's right. All right, big screen is up. We have 3 of the 6 boxes filled with expert criticizers. John Solberg there to my right. Contestant Doug Scheiding there on the top right. Jeff Ricer, bottom left, he's a contestant as well. Christian from Houston is an expert criticizer. And then the 3 most feared criticizers of them all, in order from left to right, Maddie, Bobby, and Marley, the in-studio expert opinion makers. All right, so here we go. Let me give you an idea of how it's all going down. I'll unmute the... Oh, crap. I'll unmute the ladies here in just one second when the mixer reconnects back to the interface. Tonight, myself, Doug Scheiding, and Jeff Ricer will be taking part in the sing-up. Unlike last month, where we all sang a verse, a chorus, a verse, and a chorus of the same exact song, we have ventured out with our own artistic endeavors. with help from 0 music professionals, I might add. We had no mentors or anything like you see on these other crappy music shows. This is the gold standard of barbecue singing shows. No musical professionals or mentors here. We did it all on our own. Backing tracks, yes. We sang it, we mixed it for your listening pleasure, kept it around 2 minutes. And the top 2 vote getters will move to May, where we will battle it out for ultimate title of American Idol's Barbecue Central Show Edition winner. There are no 6-figure contracts, recording contracts coming. There will be no merchandise. There will be no tours. There'll be none of this stuff. Ladies, are you excited to get going? By the way, Marley, you got to make sure that you push the power button up there on the microphone and make sure that it is open. Can you say something real quick?
Hello.
All right, there you go. So we're all locked and loaded. Ladies, are you excited and ready to go? Maddie, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I'm just looking forward to seeing how much auto-tune you guys put on your singing.
Well, as we know, auto-tune is not allowed, so I doubt that's going to happen.
If that does happen, you are immediately disqualified.
Well, or at least verbally lambasted, no doubt about it. Bobby, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Hearing a different song.
All right, hearing a different song. And Marley, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I want to see if
Put the microphone to your face.
I want to see if anyone improves. That's what I'm saying.
All right, you want to see if anybody improved. Great.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. Ladies, it is up to you to pick the order as you did last month. Do you want Doug, do you want Jeff, or do you want me to go first?
Doug. Oh, I guess Doug.
All right. We will go with Doug. Let me drop Doug in to the profile.
I'm watching live.
All right, here we go. Great. It's probably a little bit behind.
It is.
Right?
It is.
All right. Doug has his rendition of 80s smash hit, Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield. Ladies, you're familiar with the song?
Yes.
Christian, you're familiar with Jesse's Girl? Yes, all right. And John, I would assume you are also familiar with Jesse's Girl? Yes, okay. Here we go. So, without any further ado, I give you Doug Scheiding.
Jesse is a friend. Yeah, I know he's been a good friend of mine. But lately something's changed, it ain't hard to define. Jesse's got himself a girl and I wanna make her mine. She's watching him with those eyes, and she's loving him with that body, I just know it. And he's holding her in his arms late at night. You know, I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Why can't I find a woman like that? I play along with the charade. There doesn't seem to be a reason to change. You know, I feel so dirty when they start talking cute. I want to tell her that I love her, but the point is probably moot. Cause she's watching him with those eyes, and she's loving him with that body, I just know it. And he's holding her in his arms late at night. You know, I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Why can't I find a woman like that, like Jesse's girl? I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Why can't I find a woman? Why can't I find a woman like that? Barbecue Central Show Idol Round 2. And I'm looking in the mirror all the time, wondering what she don't see in me. I've been funny, I've been cool with lines. Ain't that the way love's supposed to be? Oh yeah, Greg's having a lot of fun. He's set up to win it. Fake it till you make it. It's my motto.
Oh, God.
All right, there we go. Doug Scheiding bringing it strong with Jesse's Girl right there. All right, we go to our expert panel of judges first. Ladies, Maddie, your thoughts on Doug Scheiding's Jesse's Girl?
Well, I said that I didn't want auto-tune, and all I got was auto-tune.
Uh-oh.
So I'm kind of upset. But
Damn.
also,
All right.
your timing, like you were rushing yourself, and you kind of like you just weren't on beat.
Not on beat. All right. Bobby, your thoughts on Doug Scheiding's Jesse's Girl?
I do think I heard auto-tune. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And you were a little off, like earlier.
The tune, and he did seem a little behind on the song.
All right, Christian from Houston, your thoughts on Doug's Jesse? We're just weighing in with everybody tonight. Go ahead, Christian. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta find my cursor. I gotta bring your guys' audio up here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Effort. I have my friend Hyman Sowell on the phone.
Yes.
And he does want to share some thoughts.
All right.
Judging criteria or the voting criteria here was to vote people through for managing to sing every note out of tune, you would win tonight.
Wow. Love it.
Yes. Period.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Brutal.
Oh my God.
Simon Cowell, brutal. All right, John, your thoughts?
In defense of Doug, I can assure you there was no auto-tune or processing on his vocal track whatsoever.
Are you sure about that?
I know it wasn't
You're wrong.
auto-tune because, not going to argue with the judges, but I'm out. I got nothing to lose. But I think Doug is greatly improved over last year.
All right. No doubt. All right. So that brings us, that's first round input for Doug. That leaves me or Jeff for next up. Ladies, what do you think?
Jeff.
All right, we'll go Jeff.
Jeff. Sorry. I was not paying attention.
All right, give me time here to reset up.
I hope it's a song that I like.
This song, as I duck my judges here real quick, is a smash hit from Elvis Presley. Girls, do you know who Elvis Presley is?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
do.
I didn't know how we were going to fare with that.
Jailhouse Rock.
This song is called In the Ghetto. You familiar with that song?
Excuse me?
That's right. I guess. All right, I'm going to put you guys on mute, and we're going to bring up Jeff's In the Ghetto. Enjoy.
As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries, 'cause if there's one thing that she don't need is another little hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. Oh, people, don't you understand? A child needs a helping hand. Do we simply turn our heads and look the other way as the world turns? Not really the TV show, but as it turns. And a hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the streets and the cold wind blows in the ghetto. And his hunger burns. So he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Then one night in desperation, the young man breaks away. He buys a gun, steals a car, tries to run, but he don't get far, and his mama cries. I should get Eric Cartman to come in.
As the crowd runs around, an angry young man face down in the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto. And his young man dies. Cold and gray Chicago morning, and another little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries. Ha! Let's make my story time, Elvis. I should have been singing it first. All right. Now listen here, you son of a bitch. Now this is Eric Cartman talking. Now listen here, Ricer. Do you think that you were doing a justified impersonation of me? I don't think so. What do you have to say for yourself? It's okay. I can do just as good as you can do me. Yeah, but let me tell you something, Ricer. Why don't you go take your broke ass back to Wisconsin, and I'm gonna take my ball and go home and eat my cheesy piss and put on my calamine lotion. That's all I have to say about that, my friend. That's it.
All right, there we go. Eric Cartman making a quick appearance, busting Jeff up for his impersonation. That's right. All right, let's go to the round of judges. Let me unmute the first round. All right, Marley, we'll start with you. What did you think of Jeff's performance?
I think it was a big improvement from last month.
All right.
And I have never actually heard the real song, but I think it was still a good song choice.
All right, Maddie, your thoughts?
Definitely improved. Interesting song choice about the ghetto. But I like the background vocals probably because it was not you singing, but that's okay. It was the effort.
Brutal. All right, Bobby, your thoughts?
I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed that, especially when Cartman came in. I just thought it was really good.
All right, great. John Solberg, your thoughts?
I'm really happy to hear that song. He was dressed. I was thinking we were going to get some kind of hip-hop thing, but not that would have been bad. I think you did a great job, great choice, great strong finish.
I thought it was a really crappy impersonation of me, but that's just me talking, okay?
All right, Christian, your thoughts?
I'm not sure why no one has thought to put Eric Cartman and Elvis together before. I mean, Simon, what do you think?
All right, Simon Cowell.
Win this competition if you were the only person in it.
Brutal.
Wow.
Brutal.
But let me tell you something, Simon Cowell. At least my friend Jeff Ricer doesn't go around trying to steal other people's wives and making them pregnant, okay? That's what I gotta say about that.
Eric Cartman is bringing the hammer tonight. Wow. All right, well, there's only one guy left. That's me. Ladies, are you ready to listen to me get loose?
Yep.
think,
yeah.
Let me go ahead and duck the judges here.
Bye.
Get ready. And I'm doing smash hit from the hold on. I'm doing 80s smash hit from Terrence Trent D'Arby, Wishing Well. How about that? For your listening pleasure.
Kissing like a bandit, stealing time underneath a sycamore tree. Cupid by the hour sends Valentine's to my sweet lover and me. Slowly but surely, your appetite is more than I knew. Sweetly, softly, I'm falling in love with you, yeah. Wish me love, a wishing well, a kiss and tell, a wishing well of butterfly tears, yeah. Wish me love, a wishing well, a kiss and tell, a wishing well of crocodile tears. Sing. What you now, boy? Hugging like a monkey see, monkey do, right beside the riverboat and gambler. Erotic images float through my head, say I wanna be a midnight rambler. Quickly, but quickly, the blood races through my veins, yeah. Quickly, but loudly, I wanna hear those sugar
All right.
You can go.
There we go. Hold on one sec. Let me pop that bet off. And we go to our esteemed panel of opinion makers. Let me unmute John. Let me unmute Christian and Simon. All right. Well, actually, let's start with John. Your thoughts, John, first?
Sorry.
That was fantastic. Doesn't even sound like you. It was like well done. I mean, singing. I'd like to hear more of the song.
All right. I like John's. Let's just stop with John right there. Good.
No.
All right.
No.
All right. Let's go to Christian and Simon Cowell. Your thoughts?
I thought it was great. I thought your voice was very dynamic. You hit that in high note with ease.
No, he didn't.
I don't think Simon.
I don't think so. No, I don't think he did.
Simon has something else to say, though.
All right.
Why you've had any? No. I've got absolutely no idea why you've had any encouragement whatsoever. It's about as bad as it can possibly get.
Wow. He hates everybody, I think. Unbelievable.
He really does.
No doubt. All right. Let's go to Maddie first.
Bobby's actually.
All right. Let's go to Bobby
Skip
first.
me.
I'm the host, by the way, in case you forgot.
Okay.
But go ahead, Bobby.
I'm the oldest. Go. All right. I like the song. You were a little pitchy at times. And you struggled with the high note. Maybe stay away from those next time.
If there is a next time. All right. Who's next?
True.
All right, Marley, go ahead.
I do like the song, and that high note, I know you could have hit because you have hit high notes before in the car. So, I don't think you tried your hardest, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But you still did pretty good.
Wow. All right, Maddie.
I absolutely hate your song choice. I hate that song. I hate it.
What? You hate that song?
I hate it.
Oh my god.
But
like a
it
classic.
Wasn't bad, but the high note could have been better.
Uh-huh.
So there's that. That's all I have to say. Pick a better song next time.
All right. Well, there you go. Ladies, as always, I thank you for in summation.
What's that mean?
Quickly, in summation, Maddie, your favorite rank from 1 to 3.
What were the names again?
Jeff and Doug and me.
Let's do Jeff, you, and Doug.
All right. Bobby, your rank?
Same.
Marley, your rank?
Also the same.
Also the same. All right. So Jeff is top honors here.
Jeff is the one who did Cartman, right?
He did the ghetto.
The ghetto.
Oh, all right. Congratulations to Jeff. Your thoughts on the judges' avail tonight?
Well, they did a great job, and they really, I took their advice last week and really put a lot more time and effort into this recording. I didn't wait until Monday to do it. I waited until Sunday to do it before the show, so it worked out perfect. And I really appreciate all of their great advice from last month. So yeah, I mean, thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Taking your advice and applying it directly to the following month. Any advice for those of us that may or may not be moving on to May in the finals? Maddie? Bobby, your thoughts?
I want you guys to really, really kill it. Surprise me, knock me out of my boots.
All right. Marley?
I feel like you guys should pick a song that matches your voice and then just put everything in.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. John Solberg, parting shots as we get ready to move out of here.
Hey, I can't wait till next month. I think everybody's done a fantastic job.
All right, Christian, your final thoughts here before we head out this evening?
Yeah, you guys are really brave to be doing this in the first place. But I think 1 and 2 are going to be kind of close. I think 3 might be a little farther behind. That's my guess.
All right, and Doug, your final thoughts here as we leave this evening.
I take great value in thinking that someone thought that I actually did some production value and auto-tuned my singing. This is fantastic, and my mission has been accomplished.
All right. Well, Doug's very happy. Very good. All right, so let me see how easily I can do this. I want to thank the Embedded Correspondents for joining me, of course. I want to thank the new Embedded Correspondents sitting in here for the month of April, Christian in Houston. Also, thanks to the normal panel of Jeff, Doug, and Jon. And, of course, the lovely ladies sitting right across from me, the expert judges here for correspondence right there. Let me cut this back here. And I think that's it. Yeah, right? Okay. Nope. Cut that off. Pause that. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Now, let's cut back here. Figure out where the hell I'm at. A lot of production going on. I should hire an assistant. I meant. No, I didn't touch. Stop that. All right, there we go. Go back to the next page. We're good. We're clear off of Embedded Correspondence. Wonderful. Yeah, that's it. All right, well, we're going to come back and wrap. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Gene Acasella from Port St. John, Florida, and you're listening to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Oops. Hey now. Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by The Smoke Sheet, a free weekly newsletter that keeps you in the know on everything happening in the barbecue world, including top news, events, recipes, and more, started by Ryan Cooper and Sean Ludwig. You can sign up for it at bbqnewsletter.com, a great all-in-one resource covering the live fire industry. And that'll do it. Okay, so voting opens now. Send me an email, please. In the subject line, put American Idol, and then vote who your favorite person was first, then your second favorite, then your third favorite. For instance, Doug, Jeff, Greg, or Greg, Jeff, Doug, whatever it is. We'll tally all of those votes, and then a week from now, we will announce who is not moving on, who is not.
Andrew, you are not the fire.
Who is not moving on, and that by default will leave us with the two finalists that'll be moving on to May for the finals, where we will have a recorded duet, and then we will sing live right here on the show. I can't believe I said that out loud, but indeed we will do that. All right, all the way back in the first hour, we had Jess Pryles, Hardcore Carnivore. Don't forget, this coming Saturday at 5 p.m. Central on YouTube, you can cook along with her. Head over to her website, JessPryles.com, or find her social media channels and check out the promotion there. Go to YouTube, find Jess Pryles' page, subscribe, and then go down and make sure that you're alerted and reminded to go cook with her starting at 6 Eastern, 5 Central this coming Saturday. HardcoreCarnivore.com, JessPryles.com. After that, we talked with Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. The meat shortage is coming this week. Are we worried? Are we not? I guess we'll see next week. And then in the second hour, the Embedded Correspondents, longest running, Doug Scheiding from Texas, John Solberg from Michigan, Jeff Rice from Wisconsin, and then also Christian Arfsten from Houston, Texas. Tucker from Ohio will be in next month, believe it or not. So there you go. Big show planned for you next week. Malcolm Reed, Sam the Cooking Guy, and, of course, we have... It will be either Amber or Noah, or both Amber and Noah Glanville from Pit Barrel Cook. Fun and exciting. We'll get to see the new lifestyle room there at Pit Barrel in Louisville, Kentucky. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American saying stay socially distant and good night now.